Ever felt like breaking out your hat and whip and doing your best Indiana Jones impersonation on the streets of Melbourne? Well, the city has one unsolved crime that might just be worth your treasure hunting time. The story takes us all the way back to 1890s Melbourne and begins at Parliament House, the seat of government for the British colony of Victoria. The Speaker of the Legislative Assembly is the figure in Victoria in charge of the lower house, responsible for keeping the politicians in check, much the same as the Speaker in Federal Parliament, and just like their federal counterpart, they are given a ceremonial weapon, known as a mace, to represent their authority in the chamber and the democratic rights of the people of Victoria. Back in the late 1800s, the Speaker's mace being used in Victoria was described as 5 foot tall, plated with silver, and decorated with gold and ornaments. While Parliament was in session, it would sit in front of the Speaker, and at night it would return to its locked box in the Speaker's office. That is, until the night of the 8th of October 1891. The next day, parliamentarians returned to work to find the valuable symbol had completely vanished, and a search returned no trace. The logical conclusion was that the mace had been stolen. The police were brought in to investigate, and suspicions focused on engineer Thomas Jeffrey, who had been seen leaving the building holding a mysterious bundle. He fiercely protested his innocence, claiming he'd been carrying firewood, and with the lack of hard evidence, the police dropped their charges. The case remained unsolved. Over a year later, some newspapers around Victoria began reporting that the mace had actually been taken from the building by some unnamed members of Parliament and brought along on their visit to a house in Melbourne's infamous Little Lon red light district, which was practically just across the road from Parliament House, where it was then left behind. Despite the fact these articles were based on no real evidence, the public outcry they stirred up led to a formal parliamentary inquiry in 1893. The rumours in the papers were firmly denied, but once again no evidence strong enough to link anyone to the crime was found. The mace, despite all this fuss over it, never turned up. Fast forward 130 years later, and we still don't know for sure what happened to it. While it's likely long gone, some theories have it being melted down or dumped in the Maribyrnong River, the Victorian government is still holding out hope for its return. And if you happen to stumble across a great big silver stick lying around the streets of Melbourne, bringing it back to Parliament House will get you a $50,000 reward. And no questions asked.